Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Tuesdays with Dr. T, where we teach you to achieve transformational recovery for your child and how to lead your best life. So today, as you can see from the setup, we have changed a little bit, which is why I am a little bit late. And I think today's episode is exactly what you have been dreaming for. If you are somebody who are gaslighted, who are pressurized by your peers, by another autism mom, by your, friends and family on what you should do about your child. Okay. So today's episode will give you exactly the roadmap that I have taken and I have taught my students to get their power back. Okay. So if you are ready, let's join in. I wanted to check if I am live. Can you guys hear me properly? Please, this is the setup for the first time, so I need you guys to know. Please comment me if you can hear me clearly. Hello, Rabiapu. Can you please tell me if you can hear me? Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, wait, give me a minute. I need to. Okay, what is going on here? Never mind. So I am not the tech expert. My husband is. He's the COO of our company and he handles the tech. So without further ado, let's just jump right in, okay? I want to start with a story. So from yesterday, I was planning on doing this live, but then this morning I didn't sleep well, so I was not in the right mood. And I found out it was actually a self-sabotage pattern on my behalf because my inner children, they were not feeling safe to come out and then share the truth that has happened to me by one of my peers, okay? So in lieu to that, I was like, I am the leader. I have to come up, show up for you guys to teach you that, yes, there are people who puts on the mask of being the well-meaning friend of yours, but they're actually not, okay? So let's start with the story where my peer, an autism parenting mom, she literally blasted me apart. It was 3 years ago when I first started my Instagram page, okay? So in one of my page, I was talking about autism recovery, and I was new to the space. I knew to some extent that this was not really an acceptable term. Autism recovery is not really an acceptable term, but then I just had to say what was right for me. Okay, walaikum assalam, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. So what was right for me was this. The term autism recovery resonated with me and resonated with those who are on the same journey of getting back the developmental delays of our children, okay? So what she did was, after I posted that post, she got a lot of her friends, okay? She got some social workers, she got some moms, she got some influencer moms from her network, from her page, and then they all bulldozed me in under 12 hours. They literally annihilated my self-esteem, okay? They badgered me that there is no scientific, no scientific proof that what happens inside during gestation affects the child's autism. What happens after a child is born affects the condition that creates autism, and all of those things, okay? So me, being the people pleaser, I did not heal myself before. I was just another down-to-earth, very shy, neurodiverse adult who have had extreme trauma. So I just gave in, okay? I stopped posting, I stopped talking about autism recovery, and you know what? It took me around two years or more to get that confidence back, to start voicing my true message. But you know what happened in these 2 years? This woman, she built her own empire. She built her own autism mom coaching thing, and she built her own platform where she works with other mothers. empowering them and, teaching them how to parent autism, how to accept and manage symptoms. But here's the thing, I wouldn't have been angry if had it not been this. So she was the one who was saying there is nothing we can do about our children. We have to accept them exactly who they are. And we have to be this radical feminist, tearing down everybody, doing reels where where showing, like butcher's knife and trying to slice everybody who talks about, your child is disabled and whatnot. So she was that kind of an autism advocate. But you know what? She would DM me privately asking what tonic I use, what probiotics am I using. She would also send me snapshots of the probiotics that she was using for her child to get an expert opinion from me. So on the outside, she was bulldozing me. She did bulldoze me. She belittled me, belittled my expertise, and made me really crash down and being small. Okay, but in these 3 hours, she has radically grown and had got like more than 10,000 followers and whatnot. So there will always be people who will be more vocal than you are and who will feed on your people pleasing bad gene, I would say, because a lot of us have learned to please others by the way we were parented, by the way we were raised. So if you are somebody who is not confident to take your own decisions, if you haven't healed those trauma that erupts anywhere, whenever you are threatened, then your life will always be managed by that other person. Your life will not be managed by you. Okay? So as part of being in your circle, as part of being your success coach, it's my duty to come out of my shell and then share with you the true stories behind what happens in my life, behind what happens in our society, in our community, so that you can finally let go of the glasses that you are wearing, that you have been told to wear, which masks the real success that you and your child can actually achieve. Okay, so a few years since that I have been here on the journey of helping parents, there has been many parents that I have had the opportunity to speak with. Okay, so there were moms, dads, uncles, grandma. I have spoken with many people, let's say like more than hundreds, like 200s and whatnot. So in that context, I have seen something really interesting. Sometimes what would happen is a well-meaning friend will tell this mom or this father or this couple that if they want to work on their child and if they want to work on their recovery, they are just wasting their time or money or effort. They should just send their kid to the places where everybody sends, even though it doesn't make any improvement. Okay, so I want to do a little tap on that and tell you guys what actually is going on behind that. Okay, so if your husband or in-law or any other special need mom pressurizes you into making a decision for your child, and if you yourself lack the confidence, the courage to stand up for yourself, this episode is just for you. So stay until the end. I will give you my step-by-step method that I use and I teach, and it always brings success to each and every person who listens to this. Okay, so step number 1, you gotta understand yourself first. Okay, you need to know whether you are somebody who you think you are or you are someone different than who you think you are, because we have these two faces. There is one face which we usually cover from the outside world, and then there's the other face which we show to the world. Okay, so you have to find yourself, your true self, and you also have to find out your core needs. So by core needs, let me check if we have comments. Thank you, Hannah. She's my trauma healing coach. She's an amazing mom, Hannah Christine Claiborne. She's my mama bear. I love her a lot. I love you too, babe. Thank you so much. Okay. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and just, grab some juice or anything that you want, and just, go with the flow. Okay. So as I was saying, you need to find out your core needs, because let's say for me, my core need, there are 6 core needs that Tony Robbins say. There's also Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can Google them. There are TED Talks, there are blog posts, there are lots of things that you can research on. But in a nutshell, the 6 core needs are what every human being has. Maybe some has a little more towards freedom, some has a little more towards safety, some must, core need could be significance, someone's core need could be variety. Then we have the growth, and then we also have love, the need for affection and love from others. So my core needs are number 1, freedom, and number 2, significance, and number 3, safety. Okay, let's just stick with the 3. So for me, whenever I want to make a decision, I need to find out how to get those core needs met by making the right decision for me. So if you are making a decision that does not meet your core needs, you will often procrastinate on doing that thing. Let me repeat again. If you, let's say you decide to go to the gym, but then the going to the gym is not giving you your core needs, is not feeding you on who you are truly deep down, then you will find lots of excuses to not want to go to the gym. Okay. So first step 1 is to find your core needs. You can do it very easily. You can test online. And then number 2 is you have to give yourself permission to own those core needs. Rather than thinking about others, first and foremost, you have to think about your own core needs. Because here's the thing. If you devalue yourself, if you keep not listening to your needs, then you will self-sabotage yourself, honey. Okay? If you don't listen to your needs, you will self-sabotage yourself. And many of us who could have gone on to really great achievements and success, we don't acquire them. Why? Because we stop ourselves, we self-sabotage ourselves. Okay? So step number 1 was to truly know yourself and knowing your core needs. Step number 2 would be to do research and validate yourself. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you want to help your child gain speech, gain independence, gain understanding, command following, all of those things that a typical 5-year-old, 6-year-old or child, needs to be learning. Okay. So you have done step 1 and you have found out your core needs are, let's say, freedom and safety. Okay. So step number 2 would be to find alternative solutions that will give you the freedom and safety, as well as help your child reach those developmental potential. So now maybe you will start doing research. You start doing research on biomedical, on homeopathy, on stem cell, and so many other things that we have, right? But the thing is, there's always the positive things and the negative thing, like the pros and cons or side effects to various things. So you have to do your research and maybe try some things yourself. Okay. And if you fail trying on things, you need to give yourself permission to fail again. The thing is, we are very much scared to fail. We are like, I have to get this right the first go, or maybe the second, maximum third. I cannot try anymore. If I am trying another way, then I am just lunatic. It's not the case. Lunacy is trying the same wrong thing every time, but expecting a different result. That's what Einstein told us. Insanity is trying the same thing over and over, but expecting different result. So you need to do the research and find out what modalities are outside, how you can help yourself and your child. What do you need? Do you need more money? Do you need more support? Do you need more understanding? Do you need more love and attention from your husband who would help you with the journey? What do you need? You need to find out what do you need? What are your core needs, right? So what do you need, which will help you to be the best version of yourselves and help your child achieve the developmental success and potential, okay? So let's say you have shortlisted biomedical and homeopathy. So you go to the best doctor that you can afford, you try a few things, and then maybe the results are not that fabulous. So you try the next one. Maybe you go to the biomedical and then you are given 24 different supplements, and then you are like, you try, and then you think like, 24 supplements, do I even eat 5 fruits in one day that I will eat? I will give my son 24, 20 supplements. Doesn't make sense, actually. I don't know. I feel like trying to solve physiological issues through dozens of supplements is insanity. Trying to solve physiological conditions using dozens of supplements, dozens. The core word is more than 5 is too much. More than 3 or 4 is actually too much, okay? So if you are trying 6, 7, 10, 12, 24 supplements for your child, that's insanity, because even common layman understands any form of chemicals coming from outside the body needs to process it properly, okay? So let's say you tried the biomedical a few times and also you do not get the best result, and then you give up. You give up, and then you give up, but then you're also that mom who really wants to achieve that goal. So you pray to Allah, you pray to your Lord for a solution, and then you land into our page. Let's say you land into our page, you resonate with my message, you love what I speak about, you accept my philosophy, you accept what we teach and we stand behind, and then you want to try. But then your someone from your friend and family or relative, or maybe a mom on the internet, tells you, you are a moron if you want to try this, because this is not what everybody is doing. Everybody is sending their kids to therapy. You should send her to therapy. But you lack the courage to stand up, just like I lacked 2 years ago, to stand up against that mom and tell her that, yo, if you don't believe, go away, block me, don't follow me. But you do not have the right to come to me and then bash me with all your followers and try to stop my page, restrict my page, and do all of those things just because you feel threatened, just because you feel not good enough, just because it reminds you that you are guilty of what you are guilty, in your head at least. So in her head, she had the guilt. So when she saw me write a post that says that mothers, pregnancy time is very important, a mom's physiological, mental, and emotional health during pregnancy and after birth affects the child, she felt like she was being burned alive, which is not what she should have felt if she had made peace with her role in her child's symptoms. Because here's the thing, I never say to my people, to my girls, to my elites, to my success nerds, that it's your fault. No, it's not my fault my son has had severe difficulties. What my problem would have been was if I allowed him to suffer like that. Then it would have been on me. Then I should have felt guilty. But if I feel like, okay, let's say my mom has diabetes, and I feel like, okay, because my mom gave her life struggling and giving her best to me, she didn't take care of herself, and then she is now a diabetic patient. So I should be totally guilty of this and kill myself on that. Will that really help my mom get over the diabetes? Or will that help me find solution for her? Do you understand where I'm getting? I hope you understand this. So I want to tell you two very small story about it. Okay. So a few months ago, we had a few calls with some parents, and then one father, he lives in the Middle East, and his son stays with his brothers, okay, in Bangladesh. So the father was ready to invest to join the program, but his brothers stopped him from doing that. Okay. And then I, as a bystander, I could not say what was going on. It's not actually up to me to say what was going on. He, as an adult 40-plus-year-old man, should have had the knowledge, should have had the idea what was actually going on. But from his mistake, this is what I learned. So this is how I coached him to see his point of view, to see others' point of view. So I told him, is there any financial obligations that you help your brothers and sisters with? So he said that he actually sends about 1,000 USD or more for his ailing father's treatment. And discussing this fact, he said that if he wants to get inside our program, he will not be able to send those $1,000 for the next few months. And then the big brothers and the younger brothers need to take care of the father. And I was like, do you see yourself where you are? Do you see the reason, the motivation behind your your brothers stopping you? Do you see the motivation? He was like, yes, I see, but I cannot say no to them. I was like, wow. So that means your son's future is not at all important for you, but what your siblings will think about you is more important. You want to save your father, who is 90 years old, who would die eventually, but you don't want to spend $1,000 on your son, who's just 7 years old, and he has his entire life to lead. You go figure. You figure it out. Story number 2. I was speaking with this incredible husband-wife duo. They live in USA. And then I was obviously talking about our program. So before that, we had foundation and mastery. So I was speaking to them about the foundation. And then he was like, I love what you were teaching. And I have tried biomedical and all those dozens of supplements. And I found that it was actually harming her. I would really want to join you. So I was like, okay, how do you want to pay and whatnot? So he was pretty much ready. But after a few days, he messaged me saying that, my elder sister doesn't want me to join your program, so I have decided not to. I was like, it's totally up to you, but I would like to ask a question. And that is, why does your elder sister get to decide what will happen to your daughter and your daughter's future? He did not reply to that. He did not have the guts to stand against the bullying of elder siblings. And this happens, does not mean all the time your siblings will have their right intention for you. Sometimes our own loved ones hurts us. Sometimes our own parents, our own siblings, our own husbands, our own wives, our own everybody hurts us. But you as an adult, it's up to you to decide how to stand up for yourself and your child, because your child is not adult. Your child is your responsibility, and he is looking up to you to make the right decision. Both those parents, and there are others there are others as well, both those parents could not give themselves the opportunity, the courage to stand up and say no. So for the second parent, the elder sister, she has a son on the spectrum as well. Her son was 15 years or 16 years old and severely autistic. And then his daughter was maybe 5, and she had a lot of opportunities to recover maximum of her developmental delays. But then he decided to listen to someone who was not able to help her own son. You know what happened to this one? Happened here? It was actually jealousy. I'm definitely sure about it. For this segment, for this parent, this was about jealousy. My son didn't have the opportunity. Why should your one be? But the thing is, that auntie, that uncle, they were not honest enough to ask themselves, what is the right reason that I'm saying or pressurizing my brother's child to not have the best support, or my sister's child to not have the best support? What's my gain? A lot of the time we fall prey to jealousy, to envy, and it's our duty to find out what exactly is actually going on. I might be losing viewers and whatnot. I'm not sure. Yeah, there are people online, thank God. Because sometimes I do speak radical, real, raw things, and it's really hard for some of us to actually hear them, let alone ponder. Never mind. My duty is to make sure that I bring the best information, the rawest, most basic, most deepest information to you, and give you the opportunity to decide what's right for you. So step number 3 would be to find the true reason behind that person's pressure or idea or advice. So for that father staying in the Middle East, it was the other brothers did not want to take the financial burden of an ailing father, so they pushed the middle one. And for this other couple that I shared about, it was the aunt's jealousy or envy and her fear of seeing something happen which she has gave up on. So a lot of our parents whose children are on the spectrum, you have made up the decision that there is nothing more to be done on your child. You have made the decision already. If you have made the decision that you are in for failure all throughout your life, nobody in this world can actually help you. Some other coach, some other doctor can only help you if you give yourself the permission that success is possible for you. Okay? So step number 3 was to find the real reason why that other person is giving you this advice. Okay, I have given you 3 concrete real life experiences and stories to ponder upon. The 4th point is to validate and decide if those advice are to the best of your and your child's future success. So I had to find out. It took me 2 years, although thank God it was not about my son's recovery journey, because I was hell-bent on that. I was like, yes, you might not accept recovery. I don't give a S. Okay. What I give is this. I know deep down that my son deserves to have a healthy life, and I do not want him to become an older autistic adult who is always a burden of others, laughing stock of others, everybody looking down on him. I didn't want my son to be that. So I fought, and alhamdulillah, I have survived, and we are all thriving. Okay, we are all thriving. And that's what I want for you as well. Be it you work with me or not, that doesn't really matter. The most important thing is for you to take this solid, concrete decision today that yes, I am going to be working towards my son's or daughter's success. Okay? So after you have validated the desires of others, now it's your turn to choose a solution that will work with giving you your core needs. Okay? and also give you the best bang for buck, the best return on investment. Okay, so let's say your core needs are freedom and safety. So you need to find solutions that are not financially too taxing for you, but enough so that you gain results. Because here's the thing, cheap solutions gives cheap results. As simple as that. And of course, not all expensive solutions are working either. For example, stem cell. It's very expensive, but it doesn't work that much. Why? Because you are pushing something from outside rather than helping that child's brain adapt and thrive, right? So not all expensive things are of high quality. It's your prerogative to find out through, going through testimonials, doing more research, doing review, trying a little bit on yourself. Let's say we have currently we have the 7-day detox protocol, right? If you subscribe to our Serenity Serenity newsletter mail list, then you get that. And also in the next week or so, inshallah, I will be launching this 21-day challenge bonanza. We call this Autism Mom Bonanza. So I will be launching this 21-day program and protocol totally free for you, so that you can try a part of our program at home free of cost and do experiment yourself, so that you know that it works. Okay, so that you know in your body, in your brain, that this thing really works. Okay, so if you are interested, stay tuned for that. I will do a big launch for that one. And yeah, do your research and find out some options that caters to both the physiological need, the psychological need, and the emotional need that a child needs to be able to develop. Okay, because we have this notion that children only needs food. No, children needs love. They need attention. They need love, attention, psychological support, mental support, emotional support. They need a mom and dad who love them, who accept them for who they are, but strives their best to help their child without pressurizing the child. Okay, I am all about non-pressurizing, non-threatening, non-stressful way of helping your child grow. Okay, because that's what I would have loved when I was a young girl. That's what my children's love, and that's what human beings need. So here's the recap of what you should do if you are being pressurized by peers and family members to take the wrong decision. So the step number 1 would be to find your core needs. Okay, find out your core needs and find out what you need to be able to overcome those stressful situations. Number 2 is that you need to do research and validate yourself, anything that you want to try, biomedical, stem cell, homeopathy, allopathy, whatever you want to try, you need to do some research and then move towards it. Maybe try a little bit. Okay, step number 3 is to find the true reason for that person, for that peer, for that mom, for that aunt or uncle to give you this advice. Okay, step number 4 is to validate and decide if the advice that those people are giving you are right for you and your child. If not, if yes, okay, not everybody is bad, not everybody wants wrong for you. Maybe they don't even know. Maybe they're well-meaning, but they don't even know. They don't even understand. So let's not allow a blind to, go to the blinds. It's like blind following blind. So you are all going to be blind in the first place. Okay. So after you validate and find out the truth and decide whether that person's intention was in the right place or not, then you take the decision. Step number 5 is to choose a solution and stick to it. A lot of the times it takes time, it takes effort, it takes patience and perseverance, because human body Your child's brain did not have these struggles in one day, in 1 month. It took years to develop the condition, and it sometimes takes months to recover that. At least for us, it takes a few months. I'm not saying it takes years, because alhamdulillah, we have very much success rate. Under 1 year, most of our kids have recovered their best successes. They are talking, they're going to schools, they're understanding everything. They're just leading a normal, healthy life. That's it. A normal, healthy life where they're not doing things that are harming themselves or inappropriate or socially unacceptable and things like that, because we are all human beings. We have to live in society, and neurodiverse community is just 1% of the entire population. The 99% of the world will not change themselves just for your child. They will not. And it's like trying to bang your head against a wall, stone wall, asking the stone wall to accept you. That's not going to happen, because the stone wall is harder than your head is. You're going to hurt yourself, silly. Okay? So if today's episode resonated with you, I would love for you to leave me a comment and tell me which part resonated with you. If you're going through a similar problem, you can DM me if you don't want to speak in public, because I understand a lot of you don't interact in public, but I get a lot of DMs, which takes a lot of my time. Okay? So if you are somebody who are in our community, we have recently started, I would say, acquired and introduced one of our student. She's a graduate. She's a clinical dietitian. She actually gave us a nice interview as well. She's Pooja Roy Chatterjee. She lives in Germany, mom of one beautiful girl. So she will be taking our diet and lifestyle classes as a diet and lifestyle success coach inside our programs. So me and Pooja, we are going to be splitting ourselves, not ourselves, our work, into giving you the best support that you need, want, and deserve, because you are worthy of having a normal life. Okay? So pray for us. Share this episode with somebody you know, whose parent, who would really benefit, who is struggling to decide what to do, and let them give the gift of support. Because a lot of the time, people don't actually need money. They just need a loving shoulder and a hand that guides to the right place. Okay? And if you are somebody who are interested to know more about us, comment interested, then somebody from my team will comment back and then give you links and set up a meeting and whatnot, because helping your child recover developmental delays is very much possible. Autism recovery to us is about getting back the developmental delays: speech recovery, attention recovery, mood recovery, sleep, health, well-being, success, all of those things. Okay? And if all of those things are what you dream for, you can definitely go to our website. We are going to be launching our website very soon, autismsuccessacademy.com, and keep us posted. Let me know if this resonated with you, and I will see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz. Bye.